Kalki, shall we begin the session now?
Chandra ma'am will do the introduction, and speaker of joined. Ma'am Kalki ma'am also has joined.
Yes, sir, we can.
Yes, ma'am. After welcome and other things.
Sure, sir. Sure. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Sir, would you prefer to?
Yes, sir. No, I already informed. I will do the welcome, and Chandra ma'am will.
Chandra ma'am will do the introduction. Okay, sure. Thanks.
Okay, welcome, Kalki. I'm really happy to see you here.
Thank you so much, sir.
For the 3 years, yes. One of the studios and what I can say, very good in language, subject, as well as commitment, as well as fun also. Very good evening, one and all, and really happy to propose a welcome address because it is one of the important day I can say. My student, we are going to have a 2-7 webinar session on food, the fuel, not therapy. And I don't know whether see some of the content that is quality one which I taught in her class may be taken, and there are many components you can learn from herself, and she's going to share with us today. I welcome on behalf of the Department of Psychology and Medical College Madurai and our associating institutions like Madras School of Social Work Chennai, Mechalam Trust Madurai. I welcome today's speaker, Ms. Kalki Varadarajan. She is a student counselor of Omega International School, Kanchipuram. I'm really happy to have you here, Kalki. And I welcome all the participants for today's session. Welcome again, each one of you for today's webinar session. Now I request our core team member, Dr. Chandra, to introduce the speaker to participants. Over to you, Dr. Chandra.
Thank you, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, clear.
Good evening, everyone. I take immense pleasure on behalf of the core team to introduce our today's speaker, Ms. Kalki Varadarajan, who is currently a counseling psychologist, a student counselor at Lalaji Memorial Omega International School. And her strength has always been in helping people to identify their own strengths and limitations, coping with everyday challenges, and become a grounded and better individual. She has been always working on it. And she has also held responsible positions in different forums, associations, and clubs. We are also proud to announce that she has been representing India in a youth delegation program to Sri Lanka in December 2017. With over 4 years of her experience in training, she has offered different services in training and conducted workshops at different educational institutions and various non-governmental organizations. She has the expertise of working with a wide range of people, including students, educators, parents, teachers, adolescents, and geriatric people. She has also worked with Sri Lankan refugees and women folk of the fishermen community. So with this interesting note, we are very much happy to have you here, Ms. Kalki. And we are eager to hear what you're going to say about food, which is everything for all of us. Thank you so much for being here. Please take over this.
Thank you so much for the warm welcome, Ms. Chandra. It's a pleasure I take, and thank you for having me here. Before we begin, I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to Dr. Suresh Kumar for giving me this opportunity. Thank you so much, sir. It has always been a great experience working with you. And to all the coordinators for their extended support and their guidance. And for all the participants who have accepted our invite and joined us for the session today. So thank you one and all. And before we begin the session, I would like to start the session with a small grounding technique. Sir, can we start? Sorry.
Yes.
Yes, okay. Yeah. So before we begin, I request all of you to please close your eyes. Let us all count on our blessings for our good health, for being able to be functional physically and mentally, for all the things that we take for granted are the things that the world is praying for. Let's please count on our blessings now. Thank you. I'm really sorry for turning off the video because I have some really bad bandwidth here, so kindly bear with me. I think I'm audible. Can somebody please tell me whether I'm audible?
Yes,
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 please.
you're audible.
Ma'am, is my screen shared? I mean, is everything fine? Can we start?
Yes, you can start.
So it says count your blessings. So now that we've started counting our blessings, I think it's high time we start jumping into the session. So let's start. So before we begin, as ma'am said that we are all assembled here to talk about food, which is everything for everybody. So before we begin, I would like to know from you, I mean from each one of you, what comes to your mind when you think of the word, when you think of food, what immediately strikes your mind? Happiness. Okay, nice. Now, I would like all of you to please participate because until and unless we know what food means for each of us, there's no point in dealing with it. So, yes, stress buster. Wow, that's nice. Taste. Okay, fine. I would strongly recommend each of you to write down 3 things. We're just going to do it just for a very short while. Yes, survival, energy, yes. So we can do this for like 30 seconds. Any 3 random things. It can be anything that hits your mind when you think of food. Choice, wow. Health, nice. Urge to eat something, happiness. Okay, nice. Chef. Okay. Okay. All right. So I believe that even if you haven't shared, I'm sure there's something that has struck your mind when I put this slide on. So now we'll go a little deeper. Now with the very word food, there were a few things that, yes, thank you for the responses. Yes, source of living, taste, energy, all of that. Yes, great. So now we'll go to another step. First, we've thought of the word food and we shared what are the things that actually struck our mind. Now to go a little further, I'll play a few slides. I'll run through a few slides and you can either unmute yourself and tell me what is the thing that comes to your mind, or you can make a note of it and maybe I'll give you 30 seconds to 1 minute. You can all share with me. So whichever is feasible for you guys, I'm sure you can do that. So let me run through the slides. So anybody wants to quickly answer what comes to your mind when you see this? You can unmute yourself and please. I'm sorry, I can't. I hope somebody's speaking, but I can't hear you.
Burger.
Burger? Okay, when you see French fries, you see burger, all right. Anybody else who wants to quickly take a oil? Okay. Okay, the whole point of me asking all of you to speak up is because it's about food and all of us are super expressive and super interested in food. So it's nice when you talk out about food than to just type and just keep it to yourself. It's nice when you express how much food means to each of us. So yes, if somebody can.
People around me.
Sorry?
Kids'
Okay.
favorite.
Kids' favorite, yes. Okay, the next one. What comes to your mind when you see this now?
Healthy diet.
Healthy diet. Fish and chips, nice. Fresh, wow.
Balanced diet.
Okay. Balanced diet, healthy and fresh, great. Okay. What comes to your mind now? New shops for Western foods. Okay, that's a different thought. Nutrition,
Peace.
yummy. All right.
Colorful.
Colorful.
Feast.
Feast. Wow. Purpose of living. Okay, biryani is purpose of living. Okay, nice. What comes to your mind now?
Junk food.
Junk food,
Movie.
movie. Nothing more exciting than a bag of chips and a favorite movie, right? Yes, definitely. Yes. Crispy potato. Wow, junk. What comes to your mind now?
KFC.
Okay, I didn't want to use KFC, but I'm sure. Okay, good. A regular customer then.
Mouth watering.
Mouth watering, KFC, finger licking. Okay, unhealthy.
Broiler.
Broiler.
Not my favorite.
Okay, not your favorite. I would still recommend all of you to please participate.
Vegetarian food.
Oh, okay. Okay, I'm sorry about that. Okay, now, okay, this is veg burger, okay? So this is not chicken burger, so I think all of you can answer.
Occasionally allowed food.
Okay, okay. Anybody else?
Snack.
A good snack?
What?
Okay. Okay.
Quick meal.
Quick meal. Okay, what does this make you feel now?
Dessert.
Desert. I'm asking you, what does this make you feel now? I mean, what
eat
hits
it
your
right
mind?
now.
What? Okay, to eat it right now, which means it's tempting. Yes.
Would like to eat it.
Who would like to eat it? All right. Okay, this is pasta.
Hideout.
Okay, hideout. Okay, I assume it's a place where you like pasta. Okay,
Really?
okay.
Kitty.
This is Hakka noodles.
Oh, noodles. Okay.
Chinese.
Chinese. All right.
Croissant. Good French dessert.
Okay, nice dessert. Okay, so I'm not going to tempt you more. I know, I feel I've already tempted you enough and I've equally been tempted by myself too. So, okay, now I would like all of you to please respond. How did all this make you feel? What is the difference between, I mean, was there a difference when I said what hits your mind when you hear or listen to food to when I actually showed you pictures of food and asked you to say about that? Was there a difference? Yes, no, maybe.
I think yes.
Okay.
Because in my opinion, we choose them for a particular occasion. We don't eat them regularly as every day.
Okay.
So it reminded me of different memories when I see about different foods that you showed me now.
Okay. So can I take it? I mean, I'm really sorry for most of you who are thinking, why am I making a webinar session, an interactive session? Please don't mistake me, because it's something that all of us have to express, and the topic chosen is such that, you know, it is only fun only when you express it, and hence I'm doing it. So please don't mistake me. Please participate as much as possible. Otherwise, you can feel comfortable the way you are. Okay, so like one of you said, you know, there is some, can I take it that there is some memory attached to each of these images? Can I take it that way?
Exactly.
There is a memory, yes. So there is
Exactly.
a memory. So if there is a memory, then what has to be there in the first place for us to have a memory? Emotion? Emotion? Yes? Okay, so in common, if there is one thing that all of these images evoked in each of us is nothing but food is an emotion. So now I would like to hear from you. How many of you feel food is an emotion? You can say biryani is an emotion, you can say chai is an emotion, you can say french fries is an emotion, but is food in general an emotion? How many of you agree to this?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Yes.
Not all the foods.
Okay, not all. Okay. But I mean, whichever food you feel is comfortable for you, do you feel that's an emotion? I mean, not necessarily the ones that I showed, but in general, do you feel food is an emotion?
No.
Okay, no. Okay. Completely fine. Agreed. Okay. So, I think we as Indians, food is more like a culture for all of us. Food is culture. Food is celebration. Food is happiness. Food is everything where we can express our, emotions, happiness, sadness, irritability, anger, anything and everything. One thing that, let's say, dominates, or one thing that is a part of our everyday emotion, everyday living, everyday survival is food. And I'm sure even if it is different for different people, at some point in our life, all of us feel that we are all emotionally connected to food. Than the survival purpose, there is something emotionally that we are connected when it comes to food. So so with this, I think I've introduced the topic to you to just give you a start of it. So we're all here to discuss about a very interesting topic, something that supports survival and an inevitable part of any living organism. So yes, we are here to discuss food. So with the responses that I received from the small activity, or let's say the small glimpse of images that we did now, I'm sure most of you feel, okay, there were one or two people who said no, but most of you feel that you have an emotional connect with food. So as I told you, food is an emotion. Food is everything to all of us, and food has taken a great part in all our lives. But for now, okay, from this minute onwards, let's take a new step ahead. I mean, let's consciously, subconsciously make a serious effort to leave behind the emotional connect we have with food. Okay? Just supposing, just for this 40 minutes, okay? I'm not saying that you don't have to have an emotional connect with food, but let's just see how does it feel to deconnect with food, or let's say move away from food as an emotional component of our lives. So we'll see what food basically is. Let's not get into the emotional part. For now, all of us agree food is emotion. Most of us agree at least. But to begin now, from now on, we'll start believing that food is just a source of energy. And we'll see how we can rationally deal with food. So, what is food basically? Food is any substance consumed to provide nutritional support to an organism. So, when and how do we eat food? We eat food when we have the, let's say, the natural response from our body, that is hunger, to eat food. That is, your body needs some kind of energy for us to sustain, for us to work, for us to function, and that happens to be food. Yes, food and water. So taking hunger as a component, we'll see how hunger is split into two different halves. So there are two different things. One being physical hunger. So physical hunger means that you eat when your body signals to you that you are actually hungry. So there's another kind of hunger which most of us deny, but highly prominently evident, prominently existing, which is emotional hunger. Emotional hunger means that you turn to food either to avoid uncomfortable emotions or to heighten a pleasurable one. Typically, it means that you eat based on how you feel rather than what your body needs. In psychology, there is a very interesting theory called Maslow's hierarchy theory, where we say food, water, and your basic needs come under let's say the base of the pyramid is made up of all of this. So the physical hunger that we're talking about fits there. But the emotional hunger is when your most of the times when your physical hunger is actually satisfied, but there is something more emotionally hitting you, something uncomfortable happening with you, something not very good, not very happening around you. That is when you turn towards emotional hunger. So why am I discussing about emotional hunger now? Physical hunger is natural. Physical hunger needs to be there to prevail, needs to be there to sustain, needs to be there for survival. But emotional hunger is not something as important, or let's say as beneficial or needy as the physical hunger. So let's see what happens during emotional eating. So let's take an example. Let's take a situation. Let's say we've had a bad day. You're upset with your friend. You've planned for a, let's say, a treat with your friend, but somebody doesn't turn up, or there's some other meeting that you need to address, or let's say attend. Let's say there was a program that you were eagerly awaiting, but because of all these reasons or some other reasons you were unable to make it, or you had a very bored day, you were not very happy with whatever has happened throughout the day. How do you generally feel? You feel very irritated, you feel very upset, you feel very left out. There is boredom hitting you. There is some kind of loneliness, some kind of emotions that is hitting you hard. So what do you do on a day like this? Because somewhere we have all been influenced, especially in the present day lifestyle, we have all been strongly influenced to think of food whenever there is something emotional happening with us. Be it happy, be it sad, be it neutral, be it anything, be it any emotion that is hitting you, any emotion that you're going through, we have been influenced right from the culture, right from social media, right from our environment. Emotional eating has been highly endorsed. So we end up eating emotionally. So what is this emotional eating that I'm referring to? Why is this emotional hunger a problem? When you're hungry, okay, how many of us, when you're hungry, you choose what to eat? Very few. I assume very few of us choose what to eat when we're hungry. I'm talking about the physical hunger. When we are physically hungry, all we need is to satisfy your hunger. So you eat anything which is available, anything that is there. You don't pick and choose when you have physical hunger. But that's not the case when it comes to emotional hunger. Emotional hunger is very choosy. Emotional hunger is very demanding. Emotional hunger is very picky. Which means you pick things, you choose things, and you demand things which you claim makes you happy. And in our present day's lifestyle, anything that makes you happy, anything that interests you, anything that makes you feel nice, doesn't come with a huge, let's say, nutritional benefit attached to it. Our immediate urge and existing mindset influences us to eat something to feel better, no doubt. We strongly believe that food has the power to make us feel happy and contented. This is something that is deep-rooted in our culture, deep-rooted in our system. But as a result, where do we go and reach out? So that is where the problem arises. How many of us go to the kitchen, ask your mother to make something when you're hungry? Very few. Most of us run to the nearby cafe, nearby coffee shop, nearby, let's say, a restaurant, nearby, a store, a supermarket, a bakery. And what do all these places sell? Do they sell fresh, homemade, non-processed stuff? Definitely not. So what do these people sell? And how is it affecting, how does it influence our health? So that's exactly what we're going to focus here. So as I said, you've had a bad day, you want to get out of your, let's say, place, you want to go eat something, you want to enjoy food. So all you will end up choosing would be French fries, donuts, chips, burgers, popcorn, pizzas, brownies, hot dogs, lollipops, sauces, sandwiches, anything and everything. Okay, there could be some people who feel biryani is an emotion, some people who feel, I have friends who say, no matter any emotion I'm into, if I have biryani, I'm going to be fine. So it is more like a placebo that is deep rooted in all of us, and we run to satisfy our emotional hunger. Yes, so yeah, chocolates is one other thing. Milkshakes, let's say brownies or cupcakes, anything and everything which is processed is what we are falling prey to. So let's see what these processed foods actually mean. So processed food are nothing but food that has been cooked, canned, frozen, packaged, or changed in nutritional composition for preserving or preparing in different ways. It simply means it's not fresh. It simply means it does not have all nutritional value. It simply means it is not loaded with, all the nutritional aspects that you look for in food. It does not, it comes with a huge shelf life. Okay, if you make something today at home, let's say freshly baked, or let's say the vada, let's say the freshly baked cake that you make at home cannot be preserved for more than, let's say, 1 or 2 days. But that's exactly not what happens with processed food. You can store them, their shelf life is at least a minimum of 90 days. So if something that has to be spoiled in, let's say, 2 days time, if you are giving it a shelf life for 90 days, which means on an average, you're giving it 88 days time for it to rot. So you should understand for yourself what is the amount of garbage that we're dumping in within ourselves in the name of emotional eating. So now let's get a little technical. So we'll see how does processed food affect the gut health. So gut is nothing but your intestine. So the first thing being 95% of serotonin is produced in our gastrointestinal tract. So serotonin is a neurotransmitter that helps regulate sleep and appetite, mediate moods, and inhibit pain. Since about 95% of serotonin is produced in our gastrointestinal tract, and our gastrointestinal tract is lined with 100 million nerve cells or neurons, it makes sense that the inner workings of our digestive system don't just help us digest food, but also guide our emotions. So the feeling, every time, there is this new feeling in us, we say there are butterflies in our stomach. It's because there's a lot of, lot of things that is happening in the stomach that really affects you. You can be, let's say, you can be happy. You say you're happy in the mind. You can say you're happy in the heart. But where does it actually start? Where does it actually develop and evolve is right in your intestinal tract. So what you feed, what you put inside the gastrointestinal tract is something that you need to be double, triple, and all the more careful. So these gastrointestinal tract also have some healthy bacteria, so that make up the intestinal microbiome. These bacteria play an essential role in our health. They protect the lining of our intestines and ensure they provide a strong barrier against toxins. The second one being energy highs and lows on consuming high sugar foods. So most of us, as said, that we are all carried away by sweeteners. We are all carried away by food that is sweet. A lot of people have a sweet tooth. We like food that is sweet. We like food that is high on carb. We like food that is, let's say, processed because of the taste. Okay? But what happens when we consume a lot of carbohydrates, especially when it is processed, and it's going to be high on sugar? We'll see what happens then. So when you experience the energy highs and lows, when you eat too much sugar, let's say you eat a cookie, you eat coffee, you drink coffee, or you drink something which is, let's say, an energy drink. What happens? So I'm sure there is an energy rush. There is a glucose, or let's say there's a sugar crash that happens within the body. And so for people who really listen to their body, for people who communicate to their body, and people who know their body well, it is all the more evident that they will be able to feel the difference in their body when they eat normal food to food which is high on sugar, high on calories, highly carbonated. So now let's understand what is behind this energy spike. After a meal or snack, our body breaks down the food into glucose, and this glucose is either used right away by the body or is stored for further use. The amount of glucose in our bloodstream is called our blood sugar. I'm just making it a little more detailed. So just like the rest of the body, our brain needs a steady supply of glucose to function properly. When the blood sugar gets into high or low, it can affect us in many ways. And the common symptoms are you feel anxious, you feel irritable, you feel tired, you feel lightheaded, or you get a headache. So the whole process is you eat food to feel nice. You eat food to get over whatever feeling, uncomfortable feeling you're going through. But it is only for that, let's say, 40 minutes of dining time that you're actually feeling nice, because you have, let's say, given a placebo to your mind. I mean, that is basically a placebo. That is basically an understanding or a belief that you've given your body that you're going to feel nice. But whatever is the after effect of whatever food you've eaten, whatever, let's say, ingredients you've put inside your body, it is your body who has to face all the problems. And the body, basically, here I mean the digestive system. So these energy highs can play havoc in the digestional tract. It can play havoc in the digestive system. And the effects are something that we do not realize. We think we've, let's say, we've eaten something the previous day, or something did not suit us, or let's say because you were stressed and all of that. It is definitely not that. It can have, let's say, a little amount of, let's say, a portion of it can impact your digestive tract and your digestive processes, but most of it is the food that you actually dump inside your system. So refined carbohydrates like added sugar in junk food, fruit juices and many other foods are the primary culprits behind the cycle of energy highs and lows. So if you feel an instant high and then an instant low, it's because of the food you've consumed. So avoiding and limiting those foods can help your blood sugar remain stable throughout the day. So if you want to be healthy, please feed your body with the right nutrient to feel healthy and safe. So I think now is the important part of, I think, this concept, processed food and mental health. As mental health practitioners, or let's say mental health warriors, or let's say mental health professionals, however we claim ourselves, we have been putting great emphasis on mental health. We always say that the importance people give to physical health is not given to mental health. But somewhere what we miss out on, and this is it is totally my personal opinion. I'm sure you people can agree or disagree, but from my personal experience and my personal opinion, I strongly feel that as mental health professionals, we sometimes fail to put emphasis on the physical health. In the, let's say, race of we endorsing mental health, somewhere we fail to give our clients or give our people the essence of how important their physical health is. And physical health, we always say, please exercise. We always tell them, please meditate, or let's say, please practice, let's say, relaxation techniques. I'm sure we give their body some health tip, or let's say whatever. I mean, we definitely help them with something. But mental health professionals talking about their food choices is something which does not happen on a regular basis. I'm sure we are not dietitians, we are not clinical dietitians to give them the right, let's say, diet. So I am not endorsing any diet here, I'm not endorsing any product here, but I'm sure there are certain things that is harmful for our body that can be avoided. There are certain things which can play great impact in our body, a positive impact in the body. I'm sure we can promote that. We need not stick on to a particular product, but I'm sure in general, we have the expertise, or let's say we have the space to tell them a routine of, eating habits, or let's say the time they eat or how they eat and what to eat. I'm sure we can definitely give one. So now we'll see how processed food and mental health works. So mental health and dietary choices. What we most definitely see is that what we eat affects how we feel. So food is directly associated to our mood or our feelings or our emotions. And today, more and more medical research is bringing up links between mental health and dietary choices. The research has identified the link between conditions like depression, ADHD, schizophrenia, anxiety, stress, and dementia to a lack of nutrients like omega-3, zinc, iron, folic acids, and vitamins. When we, let's say, examine somebody, when we take their history, we see every other thing. We see the past, we see, they're presenting complaints, we go to the history and check what they've had in the past. We see, let's say, genetic factors that could have affected. But we lay very little emphasis on their diet patterns, their dietary choices. And today, research says that all or most of the mental health disorders have a food aspect associated to it. That is, their dietary choices can directly influence their mental health. I think this is one area where research is extensively being done, and we as professionals, I think we should take this as an opportunity to talk about this to our people. So the second one is unhealthy diet and depression. So in a study published in the American Journal of Psychiatry in January 2010, the dietary habits of 1,046 women ages 20 to 93 were analyzed. Researchers found that participants who consumed a traditional diet emphasizing vegetables, fruits, fish, meat, and whole grains were likely to experience depressive disorders than those who ate a Western diet rich in refined grains, sugar, fried foods, and processed foods. The Western eating pattern tends to lack vitamins, minerals, healthy fat and fiber, nutrients, and play an important role in brain function and blood sugar control, and as a result, your moods. So the reason why I'm quoting Western research here is because most of our eating patterns have has been westernized already, or is at least converting to be Western. So most of what people eat in the Western, not really the East, but in the West is what we are changing to make as our staple food. So this is highly evident. Sugar and food addiction. Research also hints that there's a link between sugar and addictive eating. For instance, a 2012 study published in the International Journal of Eating Disorders found that 81 obese people seeking treatment for binge eating, 57% met the criteria for food addiction. Foods that people were addicted to were high in fat and high in sugar. When people crave foods, they do not reach out for carrots, they do not reach out for lettuces, people don't reach out for anything fresh, they don't reach out for anything healthy. All we reach out for is sweets and fats, as they trigger the same pleasure centers in the brain that addictive drugs do. So it is scary to know that food is as addictive as any other drug. So food is a drug. So from we saying food is love, food is emotion, food is happiness, food is everything, we are changing into a lifestyle, we are changing into a custom where food is become a drug. And any drug, when taken at the right amount and used correctly, okay, it has its own benefits, but you cannot abuse any drug. Food is a drug that we are abusing on an everyday basis. So we'll see how blood sugar and schizophrenia are related. There could be a lot of, hello? Is there any disturbance? I'm sorry. Can I continue? Is there anybody who wants to share anything? I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Okay. So blood sugar and schizophrenia. When I was making the presentation, I was shocked to know that there is, when I read it, I was shocked myself to know that there is a relationship between blood sugar and schizophrenia. So could a serious mental illness or mental health disorder like schizophrenia be linked to blood sugar is something that struck me at the first point. But diabetes is more common with people with schizophrenia. There are some older studies that say, older studies as in a few years back, say that there's a link between sugar metabolism and schizophrenia. The link is not strong, but it is possible, which means it does not directly have an impact on every human being with, or let's say every person affected by the disorder, but there is a possibility, there is a risk, and there is a damage that could be caused because of the dietary intake that we do. Take, for instance, a 2006 study in the journal Diabetes Care, which looked at the link between blood sugar and schizophrenia. It said blood testing in 200 people with schizophrenia found high blood sugar in 7% and diabetes in more than 14%. So it clearly shows that there is a link between blood sugar and schizophrenia. So unhealthy eating habits and poor body image and self-esteem. Unhealthy eating habits hinder brain function and cause reduced self-esteem as a result of foggy thinking, mood swings, and confusion. Poor body image is a common byproduct of overeating, particularly when it causes undesirable weight gain. To improve appetite and weight control, brain function, and the way you perceive yourself, aim for a balanced, calorie-appropriate diet based on healthy food. So to run through the slide again, processed food and its impact on mental health. Your mental health is directly affected by your dietary choices. Unhealthy diet can cause anxiety and depression. Sugar can cause addiction, food addiction. Food can be converted into a drug. The sugar-stress connection, the blood sugar and schizophrenia, and unhealthy eating habits and how it impacts poor body image and self-esteem. So this is a cycle that every person who goes through emotional eating goes through. So something happens that upsets you, makes you feel bad, makes you feel not very comfortable. And what do you immediately do? You have an overwhelming urge to eat. And you end up eating anything and everything that satisfies you, anything and everything that makes you feel nice, that you claim to be your comfort food, that you claim to be your happy food. But what is the quantity that we eat that in? You eat more than you should. You eat more than what you could. And at the end of it, how do you feel? You feel guilty and powerless over food. So the same thing that gives you the power to overcome your problem becomes the problem itself. So this is more like a vicious cycle. This is more like a loop. It keeps going. So until and unless you break the loop and come out of it, it is very difficult to cope with an emotional eating cycle. So you will see, I'm sure, I don't know, I cannot say for sure how many of us, but there could be many of us with varied degrees and intensities of emotional hunger or emotional eating. And if this could be of help to any of you, then let's see. So coping with emotional hunger. Identify your emotional eating triggers. I'm sure all of us know that each of us have different triggers. Not all of us are triggered by the same thing. Your emotional trigger could be different from mine. My emotional trigger could be different from somebody else's. But all of us definitely have a specific trigger. So the first step is putting a stop to emotional eating is identifying your personal trigger. What situations, places, feelings make you feel reach for comfort food? We need to make a list of your triggers. You need to make a note. You need to, let's say, make a diary or a journal. Something that you can follow, yes, for you to understand and identify your emotional eating triggers. Most emotional eating is linked to unpleasant feelings because most of the times it happens when you're upset, because your feeling of lowness doesn't end with, let's say, 1 or 2 days. When it happens for a week or let's say 10 days, when you're constantly of low or constantly in the feeling of sorrow, anger or anything, it can have huge impact, because once in a while emotional eating is fine, but emotional eating itself becomes a habit. So that is when we need to identify triggers and we need to look out for steps to cope with that. So as I said, you can maintain a journal, keep an emotional eating diary. Then second one is find other ways to feed your feelings. Right. So as I told, we have been wired, we have been culturally designed, we have all culturally evolved to believe that it's okay to feed your feelings. But somewhere as adults, as people who want to get the better out of whatever is your potential or capability, I think you need to have the awareness and realization and insight that you cannot continue to feed your feelings, because at the end of the day, it is not going to help you overcome the feeling, nor is it a healthy thing for you to do. So you have to find other ways to feed your feelings. Food may not be the only thing that you can feed your feelings with. There are so many other beneficial, non-harmful ways that you can use to feed your feelings. Say suppose if you feel upset, you feel lonely, You can just call up somebody, you can just talk to them, you can just play with somebody, you can just watch something. Let's say you can just go on a walk, you can just stretch, you can do anything. But the immediate thing when you feel upset, when you feel lonely, the first thing is you take your mobile phone, you order something, you just go out, you have something. It need not be the same thing. Let's say you're anxious, you're upset, you are worried about something. You can just take out all your anxiety with just being with yourself, because being with yourself is a huge thing to be in terms with yourself, to give you that self acceptance, to give yourself the acceptance is a huge thing that you can practice. Or for people who feel they're very anxious and just can't get out of the feelings that is happening in your mind, maybe you can use those mood balls by just squeezing them, or let's say playing with them, or taking a brisk walk. Because when you are in a place, basically I'm just asking you guys to distract, but distract yourself in healthy ways. Food need not be the only way to distract yourself. Let's say you're exhausted, you cannot walk, you cannot move out, you feel very tired, you feel very totally exhausted, drained, and all of that. All you can do is quickly go take a shower. It can be a hot shower, it can be a cold shower, it can be anything. See, aromatherapy works beautiful with situations like these. You can just buy some scented candles. You can just, you can just make the ambience conducive for you to feel happy in the place wherever you are. That can be one thing. Or let's say if you're bored, you can explore. Now is not the time where you can go outside and explore your environment or your surrounding. But if if situations were otherwise, I'm sure you can go explore your surroundings and just sit with the problem and deal with the problem then there by just eating food. So the next thing is indulge without overeating by savoring your food. I think this is a habit that pause when cravings hit and check in with yourself. So most emotional eaters feel powerless over their food cravings. As I told about the cycle, what you feel is your strength. You feel you have the solution for your problem. That it's a problem, which means food, you don't have control over food. Food has control over you. So most of them feel powerless over their food cravings. When the urge hits them, all they can think about is just food. So emotional eating tends to be automatic and virtually mindless. You're not doing it with all your mind. You're not doing it with all your senses. So before you even realize what you're doing, you've reached to the fridge, you've taken a tub of ice cream and you're done with half of it. By the time you even realize, okay, what should I be doing? It is that automatic, it is that quick, and it's, let's say, that powerful. But if you can take a moment and pause and reflect, maybe you can create an opportunity to control the urge, control the impulsivity. Maybe you can just talk to your mind. It is not forcefully telling them don't do it, because the forbidden is extremely tempting, all right? So just tell yourself to wait. You don't have to immediately run to the fridge. You don't have to immediately take your phone and order something. You can just give it a break. Let's say 2 minutes. At least it will lower the amount of junk that you're putting inside your body, that you're feeding your body. If you would have ordered, let's say, a pizza a pizza that 2 people can generally eat, at least if you give 2 minutes break, 2 minutes break, at least you'll order a decent pizza which you'll be able to finish at least, and something which is fine. You wouldn't order fries and pizzas and drinks and everything together. At least you'll have a control of whatever you're doing. So make that pause important and please consciously work on it. Next one is indulge without overeating by savoring your food, which means mindful eating. One quality that I think all of us need to develop, all of us need to cultivate, is learning to eat by savoring our food. Because in today's world where everything is fast, food has also become just another thing. One side we are endorsing food, another side you don't even know, half the people don't even know what they're eating. You don't even know whether it's uttapam or dosa what you're eating. You don't even know whether it is, you don't even know the difference. Or, only when somebody asks you, did you eat this? You don't even know, because you don't, when you go to office, when you go to college, when somebody asks, what did you have for breakfast? Half the people don't even know what they had for breakfast, because it was not something that they savored to eat. It was not something that they enjoyed eating. It's just that it goes inside the mouth and you just, fine. And what is causing you what is stopping you from savoring your food? What is stopping you from enjoying your food is because you are gadget addicted. We are with gadgets, we are with, let's say, either with mobile phones, television, games, or anything, but you don't pay attention to the food that you're eating. You're only paying attention to whatever otherwise is happening. Food has to be your main work and others needs to be sub. But what actually happens is your food becomes the least priority and all the other becomes priority. So you are not you're not practicing mindful eating. But one scientifically proven research, research also suggests that mindful eating can help you cope with emotional hunger. So when you eat your food, you tend to do it so quickly, mindlessly, consuming food on autopilot. It's just like autopilot. You eat so fast that you miss out on different tastes and textures of your food, as well as your body's cues that you are full and no longer hungry. Sometimes you don't even know whether you're hungry or not. You just go on eating. That's because you have not paid attention to your body. You have not paid attention to whatever work you're doing. Whatever process you're doing, which you're not paying attention to food. So let's create a practice of mindfully eating, saying no to gadgets for at least that 20, 30 minutes that you're eating. I think that will help you gain better strength. That will help you overcome emotional hunger. That will help you overcome your addiction from gadgets. And the last thing, support yourself with healthy lifestyle habits. So healthy lifestyle habits means things that cannot be done by force, because it's a lifestyle habit. It is not something that you start one day and you do it and then you leave it and then you go on. No. If you feel this is going to help you and make your lifestyle better, it's nice to cultivate a habit of that choice. So make daily exercise a priority. Physical activity does wonders to your mood and energy levels, and it's also a powerful stress buster. So a lot of people said that food is stress buster, but there is no stress buster like exercise. Definitely not. And getting into exercise habit is easier than we actually think. We all fear exercise because you get these aches and you have to do it with a lot of effort, and you need to go to a gym, you have to go hit the gym, you have to have a trainer. Nothing, just move. I think moving itself is enough. That's the minimal exercise you can do in today's day. And sleep, you cannot compromise sleep. Most of us have also compromised sleep. So people in hostels, people working late nights, when you work and stay awake in the later, hours of the night, let's say you've had dinner at 8 o'clock. I'm sure if you're awake till 12 and 1, your body is going to feel hungry. It's because it's the time for you to sleep, but you don't sleep. So your body has to continue with its normal functioning that has to happen during sleep, and also take the additional burden of giving you the energy to stay awake to whatever time you want to stay awake. So your body is doing double the work with the single fuel that you're giving your body. So try to give yourself adequate rest. That is a minimum of at least 7 to 8 hours a day. So this does not count the afternoon hours that you sleep. It is definitely the night sleep that cannot be compromised. And then make time for relaxation. And relaxation is basically time to declutter, time to relax, time to decompress and unwind. You don't have to, in this fast moving world, you need some time to be with yourself, to engage with your inner, inner self, okay, to introspect, to retrospect, to reflect, to whatever interpersonal relationship that you can develop. Please take adequate time for that. And then, yes, if intrapersonal is one that can help you achieve your needs, I'm sure interpersonal will also help. So connect with people. Do not underestimate the importance of close relationships, social activities. Spending time with positive people to enhance your life will help you protect from, so many things. We are all social beings. We all coexist, and we all need to be interdependent on each other to live a healthy life. So let's seek support and give support to lead a healthy lifestyle. So yes, so this, I'm sorry. Okay, so this is exactly what the topic says. Food is fuel, not therapy. So whatever I just said is definitely the justification for why I strongly believe, or it will be nice if we strongly believe, that food can be considered fuel and not therapy. Because the therapy here we mean is everything is going to be fine once we eat. But that's not the scenario, that's not the situation. If food can be treated as fuel, it would be a healthy fuel that we are trying to give your body. It's more like a car. You give it the premium fuel, yes, it's going to be great. If you're going to give it something that is not up to the standard, it is going to have problems. So if you're going to give so much importance to a machine that we own, why not the body which functions for us 24/7 throughout your life? So let's consider it a fuel and take care of our body. So before we finish, there are a few, let's say, takeaways, a few reminders that I would like to give, and we'll just quickly run through that. So you don't fuel your car every time you see a gas station. So don't feel the need to eat every time you see or think about food. So the respect you give a machine, you should be able to give yourself. So emotional eating doesn't heal emotional issues. So let's remember, whatever the problem is, the answer is not in the fridge. This is as simple as this is as simple as that. So the answer is not in the fridge. Let's not run to the fridge for every problem we face. And when you overeat, and also remember, this is a very, very important thing that I am learning, and I solely hope that you will also take. When you overeat, it's because you're avoiding a needed conversation with yourself. What conflict you are going through within you, you are unable to deal with it. You are finding, it is your anxiety that is stopping you from having a conversation within yourself to deal with the problem. Instead, you engage in overeating. So make this a constant reminder every time you want to emotionally or you have emotional hunger. So eat to fuel your body and not to feed your emotions. And finally, food is the most widely abused anti-anxiety drug, and exercise is the most potent yet underutilized antidepressant. I'll repeat it once again. Food is the most widely abused anti-anxiety drug, and exercise is the most potent yet underutilized antidepressant. So thank you so much, and thank you for the patient listening.
It is a wonderful presentation. I really enjoyed yours. And beginning, I thought it is a different, but once you started presenting content, I come to know that what you're trying to say. Really good presentation. Now I request our core team member, Axia, would you like to lead? This is Dr. Salim, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you. Participant, can you unmute yourself and correct
Your voice is very feeble, sir. Can you please speak loud?
Pardon, sir? Now it's okay?
Voice is very, very low.
Now it's okay, sir? Sir, can you hear? Sir, can you able to hear now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes. Sir, hearing a song from your mobile. Sir, are you there?
Sir, I think somebody with meeting.
No, I'm hearing there is an background music from your mobile phone. Okay. Participant, would you like to ask any questions related to today's presentation? Ask directly ask to the center. Or you can go to the chat box. Write your questions. We will get back to answers.
Sir, now it's okay?
Yeah, fine, sir. Fine.
Sir, I'm here. Akshay here, sir. Yes, participants, if you have any questions, kindly unmute yourself and ask, or you can put it in the chat box that I can see for the response. I'm sorry if you had earlier I couldn't see the chat. Kindly put it. Sorry, sir, kindly mute Salim, sir.
Okay. கடை திறந்திருக்குமா? சும்மா
Yes, participants, you can go ahead with the question.
The
Kalki,
session
I can read some of the.
yeah, the session is very nice. Mental health and health goes hand in hand. There's no difference about it. Our Indian tradition is very well. Every vegetable is a medicine for us, and everything that we take in a minute detail. And when we add it, our health is very good. Our mental health is very good. And actually, Indians, many people, the discussion came recently that Indians do not go for mental health webinars and all. It's because of our parents and grandparents. They have looked after us very well. Our health is very nice, and we also think vegetatively, very healthily, and we acquire all vitamins and everything. But we new generation fail to maintain that. So the presentation is very nice, and I appreciate it very much.
Thank you so much, sir.
Kalki, there is a question in chat box. Can you answer that one? Saraptik Kaur. Yeah, I read that some of the feedback I received only from Bini Vidi training, School of Training. Super Kalki, thanks for your amazing session. There is one more Sarapit Kaur. She said that excellent presentation. And by Dr. Rupa Kaur, she is a psychological counselor. Wonderful and full of information and knowledge. Thank you so much. And Sabdam, well said. That slides totally hit the nail. Really, she enjoyed, I think. That's why you can see that wonderful feedback from participants.
Hello?
Yes.
Sir, can I speak to ma'am?
Yes.
Hello, ma'am. Kalki ma'am, good evening.
Good evening.
Okay, I'm Sunny Santosh from Arvangadu.
Yes, Sunny, how are you? I'm sorry,
For me,
Sorry?
you remember me, ma'am?
Yes, sir, I definitely do.
Okay, the session was amazing, wonderful, awesome, and I've been trying to call you again and again regarding the sessions only, but I would not contact you.
Okay.
I've been trying to call you since very long time, so suddenly it was a pretty huge surprise for me that you were already being the resource person of the webinar, so I just jumped in.
Sunny, I don't hear you. I'm sorry. Yeah. Tell me. Yeah. Tell me.
Sorry, even now I was actually driving. So when I looked at the poster which was sent to me, the resource person was you, and I was pretty much surprised to have you here. I was
So I think we owe credits to Suresh sir for having brought friends who are apart close together through this webinar. So thank you so much, sir. On both our behalf, I thank you. Yes, Sunny, we'll catch up outside the session. Yes, thank you.
Sure.
Yes,
you so
thank
much.
you. Yes. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Yes, I think we can conclude the session now. And now I request Sir Salim sir, can you
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Yeah, you can go ahead.
Fine, sir. Okay. Thank you very much, sir, to give me the opportunity to give the vote of thanks. So it was a very nice, wonderful session, madam. So
Thank you
it's a
so much,
different
sir.
topic actually. Food fuel, it's not a therapy, and you very well differentiated and physical hunger and emotional hunger. As we are all know, there is a difference, and you explained clearly. And whatever we are needs, body needs, you are eating is a physical hunger, and whereas emotional hunger actually it depends on how we feel, not body wants actually. So it's a very wonderful explanation, and we learned a lot today. And particularly you talked about processed food very well, cooked food and canned, frozen, all those things. And surprised to know that 95% of like certain introduced by our gastrointestinal tract actually. So it is very interested and nice to note that we have to maintain our diet as well as our healthy, or even we have to concentrate on food to maintain our mental health. That is the, I think, inter-direct relationship I feel between and food and our mental health. It means like 95% means close 100%, like certain produced by gastrointestinal tract. So it is very surprised to know that, and happy to hear that, ma'am. And there is a lot of information from you. You give the tips also today, and coping with our emotional hunger, like identifying our emotional eating triggers and other ways to find our feelings, support ourselves with healthy lifestyle habits. Lot information we learned today, ma'am. So Suresh sir said to reading the title earlier, food is a fuel, not therapy. We thought different, and when conclude the sessions, it was different actually. We get so I acknowledge that one. So kindly accept our gratitude on behalf of American College Madurai and MS Challamuthi Institute Madurai and Madras School of Social Work Chennai and the International Center for Psycho-Oncological Association Turkey and Red Pond Educational Institute Madurai. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, all the participants. So it's our pleasure to give the gratitude. So thank you, one and all. Thank you very much.
Sir, can I just take a minute to talk?
Yes,
ma'am. Yes, please.
Thank you so much, Salim sir, for such a detailed explanation. I mean, I think you've just summarized whatever I said. I mean, to me, it just looked like you've summarized the whole session, and thank you so much for that. And I know how keen a participant you have been to tell every little thing. I mean, you could have just told it was a nice session, it was a wonderful session, but to take the effort to look at the details and to mention them, and I'm sure you're way older or let's say inexperienced than me, but to feel thankful to a person who's way too younger. I understand how humble this setup works. So thank you so much. I'm sure all of us are growing, and I'm happy to have worked with all of you. Thank you so very much. Thank you so much, sir. Yes, thank you.
Again, with another wonderful session, I can record here. And Kalki took one more session with another forum, and that was the most watched YouTube webinar session by me. That was to Kalki. And again, I hope this one also has the same kind of impact it will make once if it is uploaded in the YouTube. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Yes, thank you.